Welcome in and happy Monday, everybody. I hope that we're all having a great start to the week here. How is everybody doing today? I'm looking at SOXX once again. These semiconductors just continue to impress. The SOX itself, my gosh, 5.5% yet again. How is QQQ today? Let's go check in on it a little bit. Nothing too great on that side. Same with the SPY. Both are down slightly. Now, they're not down a lot. They're holding their ground, which is a solid thing to do, but not a lot of momentum, though, at the same time. I'd prefer to see a lot of good momentum coming through, of course. The more momentum, the better. Not too much news coming through from yesterday into today, but there was a few things over the weekend, of course. The Iran proposal has essentially been rejected at the end of last week. And then last night into today, Iran said they will never bow as Trump rejects their peace counteroffer. Prolonging the conflict, Brent oil started moving higher. Of course, a lot of different quotes out here. Tehran vowed to never bow our heads before the enemy. Benjamin Netanyahu said the war was not over because there was more work to be done, in quotes. Trump and Xi are meeting this week, May 14th and the 15th. That's going to be a big one. Here's Trump's Truth Social post. I have just read the response from Iran's so-called representatives. I don't like it. Totally unacceptable. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So markets were down just a little bit. If we look at crude oil futures, sorry, I clicked Colgate by mistake. Crude oil futures, there we go. They ran up to $100 per barrel this morning. Wow, I didn't even realize that they were at 100, but I knew that they were up last night, pushing pretty close. I didn't think that they'd quite get there, but they did. Got to 100, but unfortunately rejected. Or, well, maybe fortunately, because the market seems to be inverse in crude oil lately. And at open, SPY is ripping yet again. SPY is ripping yet again. Looking at the watch list today, Qualcomm is up another 12%. Wow. Navitas Semiconductor, 11%, just exploding at open. Straight up explosiveness. Poet Technologies, not as hot, but moving. Intel, setting up in a great way here, pushing 135. Where's all those Intel haters at? I swear. They're all hiding in the shadows now. Where's WDC? 508.78. Holy. My gosh, these moves are wild. Micron, which has been a hot name lately. Damn, there we go, 820. Hey, I'll keep it. I'll take it. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. I'll take it. You guys ever heard of that workout brand called First Form? First Form. They're like located here. They always have crazy stuff. Good morning. B is on fire. You're looking at Barrick Gold and Silver. Good morning, Stare at Wall, KNMSO, Jake, Almighty J, Toro, YouTube. Barrick, yeah, I did see it on my watch list right here, up 6.65%. Pretty wild. Now, they had earnings today. I didn't even realize that. Barrick had earnings. Okay. Wow, SLV and GLV just exploded this morning at like 7:30 a.m. What was up with that? That is pretty insane to say. That was a wild rip out of nowhere with silver. Was there some news? Weird. I guess it's just Trump rejecting the proposal. Where's the Truth Social post? It came out yesterday at 3 p.m. So I don't know. Let me see if there's another one maybe. Maybe there's a newer one from this morning. Nope. There was not, actually. Never heard of it? Gotcha. Yeah, it must be just a St. Louis thing. It's pretty big, though. Man, Tessie. Pulling back towards 420. Pretty big level to pull back to here. Poor Tessie not getting in on the action, unfortunately. Moderna had a good rip at the end of the week last week. They kind of continued that this morning. They're up 5.4%. Now, they've been all over the place, though. Their candle pretty much extended down to break even and then right back up. See how that goes this week. ORMP is climbing the watch list. Oramed. My gosh, Oramed has been outstanding lately. For those of you that don't know, this stock has ties to Ben Shapiro. We talked about it while it was down in this lower range, and it's stuck in this lower range for a long time. There it is. My drawings weren't on. There's the range. But this lower range around like $2 to $2.60 ended up being a really good buy the dip opportunity for ORMP. I know quite a few people have been picking it up, as you know, I talk about it a lot on the streams, but yeah, just good to see it continuing here. Great breakout and good continuation, Oramed. CVX 185 trying to come back a bit. We're getting pullbacks out of some of these oil stocks like CVX or ZOM or Oxy. They've been pulling back and getting closer to some big areas of support. So keep your eyes on these players. There could be some decent bounce opportunities back up here. Yeah, it just depends on who you like, right, Arabudo? I mean, some people like him, some people don't. Either way the stock moves, I don't give a shit who you are. I don't care if you're Nancy Pelosi, Ben Shapiro, Trump, Biden's kid. I don't care. If you're buying the stocks, I'm paying attention. UMAC is one that I'm looking at a lot too, as Donald Trump Jr. is the third largest shareholder of this one. This is another one that I find pretty interesting in the short term because of that. Simple fact. It's a drone company as well, and as we know, drones have been what they are. I'm trying to think of something like, what's like a... I don't know. I don't really hear too much about any other people buying too often. I know that there's some big senators out there and congressmen and stuff like that who go kind of nuts on the trades, but anytime you get some big players in, you know, it's always interesting. Michael Burry recently had something to say talking about like weird names or big players out there in the market. Michael Burry was recently talking about the AI rally and how it's a huge bubble like the dot-com bubble was back in the day. I don't know. We'll see if he's right or not, but I feel like he's right. The question is just when will we drop, right? Like let's say that the market does this. Like here, I'll give you an example on like a daily chart of like SPX. Like let's just say that hypothetically, you know, the market does this. Let's just say that, you know, it rips, but then eventually, you know, it pulls back a little bit, right? And let's say it pulls back to like 7,000 and like, you know, uses 7,000 like as support. Like, yes, like that will be a bad pullback, but you know, we're still going to be like significantly higher from like where 2026 started, at least eventually. I could see like the year over year number looking really bad because like, you know, like let's say we start 2026 at like 6,900 and like let's say we do get that 7,000 bounce. It's going to look like the S&P only went up 2% or like 1% or something, maybe not even 1%. And that's going to become a big sore spot on like a lot of statistics. But if it made this crazy move like this to get that done, I'd be okay with that. You know, I think that would be fine. And even if we look at like the pullback this year, even this year's pullback is like pretty similar. It's not like anything too crazy. But the main thing is watching that 7,000 area as support. That's going to be a big zone of support to keep on the radar. Not that it has to get back there to test said support, but it is big. And I like to watch these peaks like that all the time. But you can see like right here, you know, we didn't quite, on this last pullback, we didn't quite hit the peak, unfortunately. But it was close. It was close. But we didn't quite get there. Whereas like on this one, you know, the S&P did hit the peak on the Liberation Day crash in 2025. And that's the big thing. Like, are we going to get another pullback? We will eventually. But will it look like one of these? I hope it does, because these have been very quick, sharp pullbacks at the beginning of the year. And Trump has a tendency to do this. It'll be pretty cool to see if it, you know, continues to go that way or not. Arabudo said the bubble will drop when AI takes over everything. At that point, we're going to be dead. No, just kidding. Sean Cornish said, every time I hear Burry, I think of the emails in The Big Short. Have you thought this through? Yeah, how he's looking at his inbox. Classic scene. Burry, I was talking to Mike about this privately yesterday, but I was pretty much saying, like, in my opinion, it seems like Michael Burry's gotten a lot less popular over the past few years. Like, he's tied to like a lot more negativity than not. It feels like. Pretty strange. Or not, I guess. He's made some wild calls. I will say he's not too bad on Palantir right now, though. He's not too bad on Palantir, especially if Palantir breaks support here at like 125 at this zone. It's going to be looking really good for Burry, I'm not sure if Burry's still in his shorts even with these, but either way, the call was decent if this support gives out. But let's go back to some positivity with the market. Whoa! SPY, new all-time highs just made within the past couple minutes. There we go. SPY's now up 0.12% today. Nothing too crazy, but it is moving higher. I'm definitely a fan of continuing to follow the wave until we get proven wrong or until the wave stops. Good morning, Suzuka. Nvidia, yeah, 1.8%, crushing it today, really helping fuel the overall market. Nvidia and just chip stocks in general are doing it again. Gosh, Navitas is up 18%. Last time we checked, it was up like 9 or 10%. Qualcomm, another 8% move as well. Huge pre-market runner. Nebius AI, 192. Crazy ripper there. Once again, how's Roblox today? Anything bad on Roblox's side? Oh, it was in pre-market. Starting to get worse though again. Could be a potential trade lower. Clover Health, not too bad to the upside. Really watching Fuel Cell lately, waiting for the breakout to occur. It's stuck at this $14 resistance. Keep it on the radar. Recent big money trade. Talked about it last night. Tesla, not getting the love today still. It is at 420 though, Elon's favorite number. Maybe Elon's going to inject money here. Obviously, I'm joking, guys. He's not going to do that. Well, maybe. I have no idea. You know, watch me say that, and then Elon does it or something. I could see something like that happening. That wouldn't be the craziest thing I've ever heard, I can tell you that. Nvidia, Amazon, UVXY on the rise. I don't know what's going to happen. UVXY is on the rise? Little bit, yeah, it is. Wow, VIX did jump up quite a bit today. I do gotta say, it did move up a little. That is a little concerning, Sean. March 30th is where the downtrend came to an end, essentially. And yeah, VIX has done nothing but fall, pretty much. It did pop up on like the 20th of April. Let's go see what SPY did on the 20th of April. Just had a smaller move, really. Didn't fall too much, but it did fall the 21st. So after VIX popped on the 20th of April, SPY had a really bad day the next day. The 21st. Obviously, that doesn't mean that tomorrow is going to be bad. But I don't know. I do find that a little interesting. What is that symbol, Sean? Suzuka says DXYZ's popping off yet again. Oh my gosh, another 20% ripper. DXYZ. Yeah, this SpaceX hype is insane for DXYZ. The Destiny Tech 100. If you guys didn't know, they have they have holdings of SpaceX. Sorry, I misspoke. They have holdings with SpaceX. I'll show you their website right here. SpaceX, Shield AI, Databricks, Beast Industries. You can get access to SpaceX and Mr. Beast all in one place. I'm kind of joking there, though. A Vast Space, Axiom Space, a lot of AI companies, Epic Games. I don't know what the hell Class Dojo is. Now I'm interested, actually. Discord is even in here. Discord. It's going to be interesting if Discord ends up IPOing soon, too. When I say soon, obviously a little bit, but... This is DXYZ, Johnny. It's an ETF where they hold companies that are technically private. I believe that it's strictly private companies. But it's interesting because they hold things like SpaceX, Shield AI, Databricks, other things like that are pretty important. They will adjust their holdings, though. Very interesting to see them popping off as much as they are, though. With SpaceX hype. Fly is an interesting, space-related stock that I've been looking at. Rocket Lab. Wow, Rocket Lab getting it done again today, moving up. Fly wasn't moving, but Rocket Lab is. NASA is another ticker that has been on my radar like a hawk lately. Or I've been watching it like a hawk. At 3.4% today. Great mover again, breaking through the all-time high. This one just came onto the market recently, but again, Space Innovators ETF. I love the space sector here. I'd love to see like a pullback on it, and then we'll be all good. Almighty said the Space Force needs to be funded somehow. Hey, well, I can tell you what, that Space Force is getting funded straight from your income tax. I can almost promise you that. I wish it was from stocks. Why are the semis ripping, Ryan said. Why not? Why not, right? Why have they been ripping this whole time? That's the answer to your question. Why have they been ripping this whole time, this past few months? It's just the same thing. It's the same hype, the same AI exposure. It's not like something new came out this morning and my God, everything's up again. No, it's just the environment that we're in. But essentially, if you want to get down to the real root cause why these stocks are moving up, people are buying. Algos are buying. Funds are buying. But why are they buying, right? Why are they buying? Mainly because the data center infrastructure requires a lot to build out. Companies are trying to build these data centers like hotcakes right now, and they need materials. They need people to build them. They need construction equipment to get these done. They need, it's like everything under the sun. They need servers. They need memory. They need GPUs. They need whoever makes server racks. They need to probably design chips, probably even. Who knows? Probably getting with like NVIDIA or AMD or ASML or who knows, and getting their own thing done. There's a lot that goes into it. But at the end of the day, the root cause, number one, more buyers. Number two, why are they buying? Data center infrastructure being built out. Now, will this come to an end eventually? Will this slow down, and will it, eventually kind of collapse or crash or have a correction? I do think so. Personally, I do think so. But the question is when, right? And how severe will it be? If this is a true, like, let's say AI bubble, kind of like the .com bubble, which it definitely could be. But here's the thing, right? Like, if we're in like the AI bubble right now and it's so explosive, like what was this one? Like what bubble was this in like 2015, 18, 19, 2020? Like, I mean, this kind of looked like a bubble too, right? And people just go, it's going to crash. It's never going to keep going. But it, it does. I'm very curious if we're going to be getting like a .com styled crash coming from this. Obviously, that's a very highly debated topic. A .com level crash would be SPY falling how much? Let's go look. I can't remember the number right off my head, but I think the market essentially halved. It looks like it was just a little bit more than halving. Felt like 57%. That would be a pretty crazy pullback, right? 57%. Where would that put the SPY right now? If SPY were to fall 57%, where would we be? I'm curious. Because I don't think it's as bad as we necessarily think it is. So SPY fell 57% from where it is right now. Where would we be? It'd be right around $314 per share. So $314. It would put us down around the COVID peak. The peak right before the COVID sell-off. And also, it would be the low from the 2022 pullback. If we did fall that much, it would be right around there. It wouldn't be perfect, but it'd be close. Yeah, and again, I'm not saying it's going to do this. But let's just say it did fall 57%, right? Now, let's just say that we're in like year 1997. And let's say that the market keeps doing this and gets a hit. Like, let's say SPY hits 1,000 and then pulls back 50%. It's going to be at like 500, right? That's really not that bad if you think about it. Now, it's going to be bad. It's going to be felt really bad in the time that it happens, but that's where averaging in helps. But it's an interesting thought. I'm curious. Let's see. Sean says, nope. John says, that would be a great reset for our small accounts. It would definitely be a good reset. I wouldn't like it personally because, I mean, you're talking just hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of dollars just being lost on a pullback like that. While it happens, I would much rather continue up right now, but Hot Sauce said, has anyone seen any data centers being built? Yeah, you know what? In my area, actually, they've been voting on data centers, and people are pissed. People are pissed because they don't want data centers to come here, but apparently it passed the vote and got the approvals and everything like that. So now they're going to be building a data center like right around here. They've already started construction on a few of them around here too. When I say around here, I mean like within 2 hours like of St. Louis, right? But obviously that's a big circle. But essentially, yeah, I mean, I've seen a few of them. I've even driven past quite a few. There was one of them that I was driving past in Illinois that I was like, what is that? And I looked it up and I was like, oh my God, that's a data center. But sometimes, like let's say you're driving through like, I don't know, Kentucky or something, like, you might come across like a Toyota plant or something like that, like in the middle of nowhere. It kind of looks like that, to be honest. It's weird. It's just like a random huge building out of nowhere. Definitely looks weird, but yeah, I've seen them. And there's a lot of legislation with them being built because, it's a lot of red tape to cross. Things are slow, but they're coming about more and more and more. Jason, said, Tom, I live next to and over New Jersey, small rural town. There's been a firestorm of negative news due to a proposal data center. Yeah, exactly. That's what's really happening, like, right now, I feel like, is that, like, they're being proposed everywhere, and people are trying to get them started, is kind of what I've been noticing. Obviously, there's some, but... Ryan said they are trying to build one in our city, but the locals are fighting it. Yeah, exactly. Everyone's fighting them. And apparently, like, I'm not, like, an expert with this stuff, but it's kind of strange. Like, these data centers, like, emit, like, radiation. And, again, I'm not an expert in this field, but everybody around me doesn't want them because there's like radiation that comes from it or something, and like your cancer risk goes through the roof. And I think technically they use like a ton of power, and it's gonna make it's gonna make power bills go through the roof. And I think possibly even insurance. Like, what happens if a tornado comes through and rips up that, whoever knows how much they cost to build that data center? I don't know how that impacts insurance premiums, but I would assume some effect would be had there. Yeah, water supplies, again, yeah. Wall hit it right on the head. Even water supplies, like, people don't think about that. Like, why would a data center really need water? Mainly for, like, cooling and stuff, but it does need water, unfortunately. Again, taking away from the population, giving it to the data center, or sharing it with the data center, so to say. Any news on the hantavirus? I don't even know how to say it, Johnny. Hantavirus? Yeah, I mean, it seems like more people are... we're continually hearing more and more about that. Even CNBC put out like an article today talking about pharma stocks exploding from it. Moderna, INO, NVAX, EBS moving. How's Pfizer today? PFE? Ooh, Pfizer's not moving good because of it, I'll tell you that. Moderna is, though. mRNA had a lot better movement. NCLH is going down probably because of it. Let's see. NCLH is moving down pretty well. 1660, definitely not looking too good. All right. That's a pretty rough move there. The put is looking good. Yeah, NCLH is really falling down here. I like it. Good price action to the downside. Negative reactions, which is good because there's been a lot going on, obviously. Higher energy prices really hurts NCLH and cruise lines and airlines and all of them. I'm kind of surprised like things like AAL are actually holding up as much as they are. Might not be a bad shorting opportunity here coming up, honestly. Obviously, fuel prices getting better would help, but, you know, lots of things go on here. 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. I'm going to throw up the Mag 7 setup really quickly. All right, sorry about that, guys. I am back. Let's go. 221. Big resistance here on NVIDIA. That is a big move. 221. NVIDIA keeping it going today. It was good to see it get up there. Unfortunately, you know, pulled back slightly, but it was good to see it get in the green. It's up 1.5% on the day right now. Looks like Microsoft on the top right chart is starting to turn up here a little bit, breaking through and holding 410 now as support. That'll be a good sign. Technically, I think technically the support's at like 409.50 on Microsoft, but good to see it back through 410 resistance. I will be using that zone as support. It's a pretty crazy start to the week here. By the way, sorry guys, got a weird phone call from a family member, so I'll be waiting for the the call back. I don't know what's going on. Probably something bad. I've been rocking the 9 square flex grid with UVXY added. Let's see. UVXY 35, 40, 35 coming up. Not too bad. Yeah, what's up with that, KNMSO? It's like every time. I'm like, can't you people pick another time to do these bad things? $15-minute chart on Palantir. Nice double bottom, 133. UMAC's ripping. Oh my gosh, really it is, YouTube Swan. This is beautiful today. UMAC running up to $15 per share. That is a great ripper. Hell yeah, love to see that. Good rip, $15 coming up. Let's see if it can shoot higher or not here. It's been pretty low, and it has a clear trend of higher lows that's coming into play on the daily chart. Good to see. KNMSO bought UMAC at 1547. Let's go. Not too far off from where we are now. If UMAC starts to really move, you'll be pretty happy you bought it at 1547. You'll be up like If it hits 20 per share, you'll be up like almost 30%. And that's pretty much just getting the resistance. There is a pretty solid resistance, though. It's 17.20 on the way up. Good stuff, though. They have earnings. Wow. Oh, my gosh. They have earnings this week. I didn't even realize that. On Thursday, May 14th, they are going to be reporting earnings. I didn't even... Let me go look at that on the earnings calendar. Thursday. I don't think that they have it on here. Maybe they do. How dare them? They didn't put it on here. All right, 1 second, guys, just a sec. All right, all right. Sorry, guys. Nvidia still sitting here right around 219, 220. I like that SPY action up to around 739.50. That is a big one. I'm looking at unusual machines here. UMAC bouncing up 10%. This is a pretty good bounce going on right here, hitting $15 per share today. I like to see UMAC running this way. Keep it going. Keep it going. Navitas is now up 26%. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I'm even saying that right now. I mean, Navitas looked prime for a breakout, but this is something otherworldly starting to occur. I hope that some of you guys are holding Navitas. I'm sure some of you are, right? Who's holding Navitas out there? Let me know in the chat. I know somebody out there is. Wow. QCOM. Qualcomm up around 10%. Another big runner today. Not quite as hot as Navitas after opening, but overall, really good move. Maddie GG says a sneaky portion of mine Wi-Fi is up 30% today. WIFI. White fiber. 28%. What a rip. That's like Navitas today. WIFI. That's wild. SMR doing good today too. 6.6%. Starting to come back. Glad to see them moving higher. Check out ORMP again. Oh! 14%, Ramirez. 14%. Oh, yeah. Talk about a ripper today. Is there news with ORMP, or are they just, like, moving with everything else? Looks like they had some good news back on March 25th. LifeWord did a strategic partnership with Oramed. But if you guys didn't know what Oramed was, what it is Ben Shapiro's tied to it, but they make an oral insulin pill. That's kind of their goal, right? They're trying to do oral insulin pills rather than having to do insulin shots, right? That's a big deal. I think that's a pretty big money maker, especially in the US with the way people eat, and I feel like that's a pretty big one. But nonetheless, big resistance coming up. $5.25 and $5 overhead. 30 cents over $4.70. Not too crazy. IONQ, Ahmad said earlier. IONQ, 12.5%. Insane. Look at that earnings move they had recently. They did pretty good that day, but today, right up and through. That is a crazy move there. IONQ. 5-minute chart. Qualcomm's actually coming back now. What about Intel? Ooh, guys, Intel. What are we going to do? It's time to sell. No, I'm kidding. Intel is falling, though, 0.6% today. It's down 0.6%. How dare them? It's weird to say that because they've been doing so good lately. Oh my gosh. Since the end of March 30th low, Intel is up 200%, 205% right now. At the high, it was like 230%. Mind-blowing. It's hard not to look at ORMP after seeing that move, Ramirez. Seriously wild. Why is... Oh, wow. BT Bit Digital's moving. Is Bitcoin moving a bit today? How's Coinbase? COIN? Coinbase, nice. Mike actually called out Coinbase yesterday because the Clarity Act is going through Congress, it looks like. This Thursday, May 14th, the Senate Banking Committee is holding a formal markup session for the Clarity Act. If the bill ends up moving forwards, it will reduce the legal risk that has depressed Coinbase's stock price compared to traditional exchanges. Since Coinbase shares are roughly 50% of USDC interest income, federal protection for stablecoin activity is a direct win for their bottom line, because 50% of their shares are essentially USDC interest income. That's wild to say. I don't think a lot of people realize that, but nonetheless, Coinbase has held the support very well around 147 to 150. This has been like an amazing, amazing support zone for Coinbase. If we get graced by the Lord for Coinbase to touch 150 again, it might be a snipe the dip opportunity. But Coinbase is also getting close to big resistance in the short term. It's really failed to break this zone around 213 to 215. It's getting so close. COIN. We might be seeing a breakout over the next few trading days. Now, obviously, if the Clarity Act doesn't get pushed through, that's going to be a big negative. But if you're trying to play this event, I really don't mind Coinbase here. Especially if you get a little bit of time. It's really not the worst swing opportunity. Oh, wow, Ramirez. You and Sean keep putting these things in the... I didn't realize when you hovered over it, it did something. That's hilarious. I had no idea. LUNR, let's see. Ramirez, did you do that on purpose? Or was that just something that occurred? But yeah, Intuitive Machines is crushing it. Man, LUNR, good rip. 11.36% ripper. Love it. 32.20. Let's go see. Fuel Cell Energy. FCEL did get the breakout today. Excuse me. Fuel Cell Energy. Seriously. Great big money trade here. I'm going to go to the commands channel and see if they're still in. I know that they are, I believe, but just triple checking. Oh, yeah, still in. Ramirez, I'm talking about how, like, whenever you put on there LUNR, for me, it shows like a Chinese symbol, and then it says moon right next to it. And whenever I hover over it, then it says LUNR. It's so strange. I think it's just like it's trying to do like a translation, maybe. It's so weird. It did it earlier when Sean said something too. It did it when he said, yeah, agreed, like YA space agreed. And it did it there too. So weird. But with Fuel Cell right now, the big money trader is up $3.75 million. Yeah, Fuel Cell is just on a huge ripper right now. It was a great move Friday, great continuation today. It's perfect. It's the perfect setup. Primed for a breakout. Do you see it now in the chat, Ramirez, or does it not pop up for you? I'm trying to learn here. SPY is bouncing around 737.50. Right where it bounced earlier, I also have support very close to there on the chart. Good to see it hold and bounce for now. That is a great move, though, for Fuel Cell, for the big money trader to be up so much here. Ramirez says, buy a nice car with it. WDC up 7%, going through some of these chip stocks again here. Going to be going through them. Navitas Semiconductor leading the watch list today, 26%, like by far over 10% over everything else. Granted, I don't have everything on my personal watch list, but quite a bit of big movers. Poet Technologies was a big one this morning. It actually just broke out, made a new recent high. Might be an all-time high. Nope, not quite an all-time high, but a new recent high. Poet is continuing up in a great way, though. Been loving the way that it's reacted lately. Very solid. Going through. Barrick Gold. I'm still surprised that the gold stocks are moving so well again today. GLD, SLV, Barrick Gold, GDX, the miners are doing great. It's a really good move by GDX. Let's go see UMAC, 10% ripper. Nice, nice, nice. I like to see that. Unusual Machines. What about Ondas? ONDS, another drone company, 3% mover. Arcat. Arcat reported last week. Mostly went flat, nothing too crazy. MU or Micron looking pretty good, $800 coming up. Micron. How's Oklo? OKLO, 8.11%. Nice ripper there. Oklo has been extremely hot lately as well. It has had some back and forth, but we can see on the daily how it's been starting to push this resistance. And what I'm looking for in the short term is for Oklo to ultimately break this resistance and continue up. Exactly like what we've seen with all of these other stocks recently. Fuel Cell is a good example. Breaking out and really ripping it higher. But there's just so many examples out there. It's hard to pinpoint just one specifically, but keep looking for it. If you're new to the channel, definitely destroy the like and subscribe. Go live every morning at market open, going through the hottest stocks and looking for the better intraday movers out there, of course. And sometimes we get a little off topic, have some fun. Maybe other times looking for longer term opportunities. Just depends how it ends up shaking out, but always generally looking for some big movers. Quantum Computing Inc. What's up with this one? They report tonight? Yeah, they do. QUBT reports earnings tonight. This will be a fun one. Look at the daily chart for QUBT. It's so close to support. I would doubt the earnings go bad and it dips down, but you never know with earnings. I'm not sure there, Jason. I'm not quite sure there. Maybe not. They have earnings tomorrow, by the way. Hey, maybe you'll find out at the earnings, Jason. Oklo's definitely more of a, we'll just say a volatility player for me. Like it has a lot of momentum. It's a momentum-filled stock. It likes to move, and it's essentially what I'm looking for there. To the downside, let's see what's on the downside. FABC, Fabric AI. Who called this one out last week? How dare you? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it did move down a little bit today, though. Unfortunately, did not continue that rally to pass 500 or to pass $5, I should say. It has earnings tomorrow, though. Again, what's up with everything having earnings today or tomorrow that I've looked at? The past 3 stocks, randomly, I had no idea that they had earnings. Just randomly looked at them. They've all reported tomorrow. Let me guess. Target's going to report tomorrow, too. Nope. Okay. I had to go look at them, though. They're down 5% today, Target. That's a pretty bad drop-off by them. How's Walmart? Walmart? McDonald's? Ooh, McDonald's down again, getting closer and closer to 270. Uh-oh. As of May 2026, Oklo has not yet deployed a fully operational commercial reactor, but they have broken ground on their first Aura powerhouse at Idaho National Laboratory as of September 2025. Good info, Jason. Speaking on Oklo, of course. Well, who knows? Maybe they'll get one soon. Just kidding. It's wild, though, that they're having such reactions without even doing one. You know, I know ticker symbol SMR, which I think is going to be a great future type play for these data centers and for these bigger, for the broader AI build out. But again, like, not a lot of examples of like actually having something where people are using them or have used them or are done. The music. Jason said I Googled it. I thought you just used AI. That's funny. Carvana had a stock split on Friday? No way. Trading for 74 a share right now. I didn't even remember that. 5 for 1. Wow, Carvana. I'm going back to McDonald's stock here, MCD, continually falling off. I'm eyeing up this long-term trend line on McDonald's. They have clear higher lows going on, and they're getting awfully close right now. Earnings last week sent them lower. Looks like they'll be touching the trend line somewhere around like 264, 265, something close to that. going to be a wild trading week. Don't forget, we have big economic data coming out tomorrow. Literally tomorrow, 1 hour before open, we get the CPI and inflation data. Be ready. CPI, the Consumer Price Index. We're going to get the core inflation rates, the normal inflation rates. And they're both looking like they're expected to, well, it looks like the normal inflation rate's expected to rise a little bit, with the consensus coming in at 3.4% versus a previous reading of 3.3%. Really, I don't think that that's terrible. If we have a 3.4% hit, now I'm worried that it comes in higher than that because energy prices have been hitting consumers. And something that we're going to probably start to hear about is inflation with food. Inflation with food is my big concern. We talked about this a lot last week, but as shipping and trucking costs a lot more money to operate, you're going to have to be careful of food prices going up and just really the price of everything as shipping costs more. Check out P. Everpure Inc. Ticker symbol P. Don't think I've ever looked at this one. Up 18%. It's moved very well the past few years. It's had a wild swing, but trending up. Wow, great move. I wonder what news is driving this. I would think that there's something, not that there has to be, but weird. It looks like on April 28th, a little news with OpenAI. Everpure's data and conference calls for Wednesday, May 27th. Going to do their first quarter results. Okay. Oh, did it? Let's see. It must have called it out today. Did it? I don't see it. Maybe it's in the pullbacks, no? Weird. I don't see it here, Ramirez. Which channel? Which bot this time? Obviously, we have quite a few, so... Oh, SM bot. Oh, okay, okay. That makes sense. I thought you meant Surge bot. Or hybrid bot. But yeah, okay. P. Nice action. 18%. Yeah, SM bot does a great job showing you some big movers. I do see it on there. It's pushing P, as they like to say. Or as the kids like to say, it's pushing P. SGML, 4.6% to the downside. CRWV, CoreWeave, 4.5% ripper, getting close to 120 at the moment. Very close. Navitas. Going back to NVIDIA, speaking of semiconductors, they continued up here to 222, and the SPY technically hit a new high here. Got very close to 740. Keep your eyes on 740. That is a big resistance zone. Overhead, huge zone of resistance. Those BTG calls expiring June 27th are up 57%. Would you sell and wait and add on any dips, or sell and make new ones? BTG. I mean, it had a great pop today. If it was up around 560, I'd probably be saying to let go of it here. It's extremely hot right now. Over the next couple of days, BTG will probably run up to like $5.80 or $6, and then potentially try to go for a much larger run. Keep that in mind. You know, right now we're seeing a lot of stocks move. I would not be surprised if BTG got the resistance and broke it. I would probably hold for a couple more days to see if, you know, it can continue pushing a bit higher. You might get some big gap up into tomorrow morning or something, which is mainly what I'm thinking. But I would look to sell soon. You know, it's pretty high, and I would wait for a dip. Doesn't mean that you have to buy the dip, though. Like, if you see it pull back hard enough and it has a lot of bearish news, you know, you might not be doing it. Or doing it right, I should say. MU versus SNDK. What's your opinion? Intraday, MU's a bit choppy and slow, getting close to resistance. SNDK is pretty bearish too. Both will probably get bought up off the dip, just given how much semiconductor stocks have been ripping lately. I don't know. I'm going to say a tie. Both are absolutely nuts right now. I think that both are insanely overextended, and I would not be surprised if these started to crash back down here soon, like next couple of weeks or so, somewhere within that time frame. For day trading specifically, though, MU seems to be holding its ground really well at this zone of support. So I think it looks solid up here with MU. You know, if you're looking at a day trade specifically. Now, if it starts to break through 780, you know, you're going to have to look at cutting, but just depends how you set up your scalps and what you're looking at. Tessie roaring back 425. It's still down on the day, technically in the red, but it is coming back. That's a great comeback by Tesla. 425. Palantir is probably down today. Yep, down 2.18%. It's been extremely weak lately. The end of last week got very choppy for Palantir. Tried to pop up, but the weakness is still prevailing at the moment. Honestly, I'm not going to be surprised if Palantir support starts to give out eventually at like 125 and it moves down. Now, Palantir is a great example of some of these stocks that are going crazy right now. You know, everybody was going nuts for Palantir. It was Palantir, Palantir, Palantir. Everybody's doing deals with Palantir, the government. But it came to an unfortunate end where the momentum faded. The stock got slow, normalized a bit. Did it crash all the way back down? No. But it did give up a lot of gain. Definitely worried about that with some of these other stocks like SNDK or MU. Or hell, especially like SOX. The Semiconductor Index. I just can't believe the wild run that that's been on. Trump says he wants to pause the 18-cent federal gas tax for a period of time. No way. Maybe we could do it forever. Good morning, Wes. Good morning and welcome in. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Seeing lots of great price action out there again in the market. We're continuing this insane run. Nvidia, watch for 222 to break out. It's coming up for a quick test. We'll probably get past there, no problem. Seems like SOX and DRAM are consolidating today. But they still look strong on the daily. I mean, they have kind of consolidated from open, but yeah, they're still moving up. The problem is they ran up a lot in pre-market. That's why they're up like 4.5%, which sucks there. SOX was doing pretty good. SOX is right around its high of the day. Still looking great. Mainly looking for a lot of these semiconductor players here. Navitas. Navitas, 22%. That is a big ripper there. Unusual Machines, UMAC up 10.5%. That's a good move, up to around 15 bucks. Rigetti, RGTI, 6.5%. Let's go see Poet. That is a good push. Poet just continues to impress day after day, week after week, except for its bad move on, well, a week ago. I lied. It's a crazy stock, don't get me wrong. That pullback was nasty, but these, like, impressive candles that it's had, though, just really overshadowed any downtrend for me. Like, you can downtrend all you want, but if you have nice volatile candles like this on an intraday basis, we'll definitely take that. Wow, Tesla. I want to see it with the auto trend. Yeah, looking great to the upside right now. It has the lower stop on auto trend around 421.50. Not a bad spot. Let's go check out the SPY. Very choppy all over the place, of course, but has moved higher. Just a chop higher, I'll say. We can't forget about some of these drone stocks, like RCAT, which was on fire a minute ago. Good stuff by RCAT, Uranium Energy Corp. Western Digital. Rigetti, RGTI. been a wild, wild time to be a trader with all these stocks. Don't forget, guys, as the stream comes to an end today, there is big data tomorrow morning. Inflation data will be coming out 1 hour before open at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Be ready. There could be a major shift tomorrow morning. If inflation is going through the roof or something, do not be surprised if the market has a negative reaction. Seriously. It could be a big one. Inflation data. I would not be surprised if it actually came in hot either. It could easily come in hot given this environment that we're in right now. Ryan's buying some Melly today, really? Is anybody looking at any China stocks ahead of Trump Xi's meeting this week? May 14th and 15th? China stocks are definitely on my radar. Not that I'm buying any right now, but they're on my radar. If this meeting goes well and the stocks start moving up, it might not be a bad thing to jump into. TME was a recent big money trade. 10-cent music. Entered in on... I can't get it to stay on the screen. There we go. Entered in on April 28th of 2026. Sniped it pretty well at the bottom, but if it starts to pop off from this play could explode pretty quickly, given how much some of these China stocks move, especially TME. Oh man, Tilray got crushed again, guys. Just whole bunch of down days in a row. CGC's trying to hold above $1, which is good. MJPF, what was that one? I used to trade this stock called MDTR back in the day. A long time ago. I used to have a... This was back in like right after high school, like one of the first stocks I traded, actually. MDTR, I feel like. Maybe it was a little after, but they make these containers that they were trying to make become like the standard for putting like marijuana in to sell. It was the dumbest company, MDTR. I actually started trading futures, Ski. Like, futures are where I learned trading at. Funny enough. I don't trade them much anymore, but I will, from time to time. Especially if it's like the S&P and I'm just going for a move with the S&P. Almost like no problem. Boeing CEOs traveling to China with Trump. It's exploding. Yeah, I forgot about that news. Thanks for reminding me, actually. That came out on Friday, I believe. I do remember seeing that. The stock started exploding intraday. Maybe it was even Thursday, but yeah, the stock is doing well with that. Maybe they'll make a deal with them. I don't know. Interesting. Oh, God, yeah, Ryan. Running the wheel all the time. I just opened some new wheel positions on SMR last week. SMR. I am a fan of this company. I think it's a bit risky, but I like their idea here. But all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and call the stream there today. Appreciate everybody joining up, of course. As always, all the lurkers and everybody out there, you are appreciated. Look at Tesla. Just crush it on this 1 minute chart here. The trend has been extremely strong. Wow, what a move. 430. Yeah, we are going to call it there. Thank you, guys. Make sure you destroy that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Go live every morning, going over all the craziest stocks, best movers out there. And, of course, we get into a lot of conversation here on the channel. But hop in. Let me know what you want to see tomorrow. And throw out some tickers, and we'll take some looks. Don't forget, economic data 1 hour before open tomorrow. Be ready. Alrighty, guys. Get out there. Have a great rest of your day. Walk away with some profits. Don't force anything. No FOMO trades. No FOMO today. If you're interested in the trading floor, I'm sending a link in the chat. Sign up for the trading floor. Once you sign up, all the information will be provided to you there. If you need anything, always feel free to email or reach out. All right, let's have a great one. I'll talk to you later, guys. Just say no, Sean. Just say no. Nancy Reagan.